Hello and welcome back to the Hibs Ramble, episode 3. I'm joined just by Michael today. Craig is working because we're recording this at Friday lunchtime, a little bit later than we would like. Um, so it's just me and Craig. No, it's not me and Craig. It's me and Michael today. I'm so sorry, Michael. That must feel like an insult.
I know I'm kind of just thinking of just leaving you in your own now after that
Yeah,
comment.
I'm really
But
sorry about that, mate.
I'm delighted. I'm delighted to be here anyway, even though you think that I'm somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. So, thanks for joining me, Craig. No, well, it nearly never happened today because our schedules never really aligned properly this week to get a recording done last night, and then Michael, you had a bit of internet problems this morning, didn't you? So
Uh,
it was kind of on a knife edge whether we were going to get something done today. But thankfully, we're here, and we're going to be talking absolute nonsense about the Hibs.
so
So let's just dive straight into it. We've not released an episode since Sunday, that brilliant win that we had against Hearts. Um, let's just crack right into it. First half, I thought that we played quite well, Michael. I don't think we've really spoken about it since the game, but how did you think that we started and approached the first portion anyway of the first half?
I thought we were quite comfortable.
Hmm.
But I thought I did think Hearts were a better team than us generally. I think that they were um, very comfortable as well, and I think that they were once they scored, they were um, they were quite happy just to win 1-0, which obviously suited us because we only needed one chance in the end. But I think for us, up until they scored, I thought we were every bit as good as them.
Yeah.
Um, I just think that their goal was quite bad defending for us,
Hmm.
uh, particularly Kenny looking the wrong way was not helpful.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, up to when they scored, we looked quite good. I can't remember if the Yuan chance, when he
That was it 0-0.
was at a 0-0. So
Yeah.
I mean, that for me was a huge chance, and I was screaming on him to cut it back because I think it was Joe New who was standing on the edge, or Henderson or something standing on the edge, who just had a tap in really to get it in, and that was frustrating. And then obviously it's even more frustrating when they go up and score. Looked a little bit like a handball on replays. It looked like a handball. Is it for you?
I'll be honest, I never thought at the time because I was too busy shouting at Kenny to turn round. Um, and then it kind of just goes through Marshall. I think Cabraja tries
Yeah, I
to
think
clear it,
so.
but he ends up putting it in. But Porteous is I don't know where he's standing in the whole lead up to the goal.
Yeah, it
I think
seemed.
he's sort of thinking Mackay's going to run down the wing and he's
Yeah,
going to cover it, and then Mackay cuts back and then plays it over. But,
I mean,
yeah.
you didn't want to give him too much credit, but that is a sublime assist by Barry Mackay. No look dink over the top,
Yeah, well,
and
it's a
then
no look pass and it's a no look from Kenny here trying to defend it. So
no look defending just didn't work out as well as
so
Barry Mackay. But no,
uh,
I think it's a good finish in the end by Shankland. And he showed the composure that we knew that he had, and he was always going to be a threat. It doesn't matter what people say about, oh, he never did it for United in the Premiership. He kens where the goal is, and he obviously knew where the goal is on Sunday, which was unfortunate for us. But I thought our response to that was still quite good. I felt like we'd tried to come out at Hearts. We had a couple of chances, and then Craig Gordon pulls off a wonder save.
yeah, I'm getting quite sick of him doing that, to be honest.
Yeah,
He seems to be doing it near enough every time we play them, but you're just unlucky that you're playing against him, I think, to be
I
honest.
think yeah, and I would imagine that every other team in the Premiership has got the same feeling towards them. They'll be saying the exact same as what you've just said. Is that every time that you play against them, he'll pull out a save for the top drawer. I mean, the boy's nearly 40-year-old and he's still playing at the highest level in Scotland anyway, and he's Scotland number one. So I mean, he's a great goalie. It's just really really annoying that he plays for Hearts. But other than that, did you feel like when he pulled out that save, it just wasn't going to be our day, even though it was only the first half?
Mm, no, because I'm used to him making. It's not like he was. It's not like it was out of character for him to make that kind of save. It's like he does it every time we play them.
Yeah.
So I just thought the more chances we get, law of averages, we're probably going to score a goal.
Exactly. And then half time comes. Were you thinking at half time, let's get Boyle on now and see what he can do? Or were you more in the camp of, you can only really give us so much today. There's no point in putting him on early and risking him getting injured.
No, I was probably. I think the second point is a logical, rational step. But I think when you're 1-0 down ahead of a derby,
Yeah.
logic and rational thinking are not at the forefront of your mind.
No, especially
so
after you've had a few beers, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't condone it,
No.
but I had partaken in a few, just to sort of.
Well, when I seen you, you were fairly sober.
Yeah.
When I seen you, or do you not remember seeing me?
No, I do remember. I couldn't forget seeing you. But I don't know. I just think that if you wanted to make the most of him, then you have to put him in the conditions that he's going to give you the most back. And I don't think 45 minutes of Martin Boyle would have worked at this stage.
Yeah, I think when he put him on, it was still a bit early because what was it? Maybe what minute was it that he?
I think it was 70. No, it would have been earlier than that.
Yeah, I think it was
maybe half an hour to go.
60 minutes. Yeah. So I was surprised that he got that long, but I think it was Lee Johnson's kind of trick up his sleeve. Really, he was effective. He was effective in the second half, but I felt that even like before Boyle came on, it was a really slow start from Hibs. Hearts had a couple of really, really good chances. And then, we're just talking about Craig Gordon pulling a save from the top drawer. Davy Marshall pulls one out of the same drawer with a double save and keeps us in the game, really.
Well, that's the first time that, maybe with the exception of Marciano, that I've felt confident in a Hibs goalie, and especially in a derby, because that kept that. If they scored, the game was by.
Yeah,
and then you don't know what was going to happen for there. You don't know the effect of what that had. But I mean, it was two. The second one in particular was unbelievable because he already made the first one, and then he's up, and then he's in the whoever had the shot's face.
Yeah, it was really quick as well, getting up and his reaction.
He's no spring chicken either. He's an old guy.
Exactly. Aye. Well, he's a wee laddie compared to Craig Gordon. I think he's a few years younger than him.
He had all the reflexes of a 21-year-old.
Well, no, I think that David Marshall digs us out, but the defending has got to be addressed. I know Lee Johnson said, I was listening to Down the Slope the other day, and they said that Lee Johnson had promised us from the day that he came in that he was always going to play on the front foot and always play attacking. But is that the way that we really need to play in a derby, considering that how often they cut us open on Sunday and looked like scoring quite a few goals?
Well, I'd imagine it would be a learning process. It's an ongoing learning process for Lee Johnson as well. I think he'll have looked at the game and seen that, and then perhaps maybe think for the next derby to not be so
open,
kamikaze, and just.
I feel like if we'd have scored when we were on top in the first half, I feel like it would have turned into a really different game, and I think it maybe if we'd have scored when we were on top in the first half, that it could have gone on and been a really high-scoring, entertaining end-to-end derby. Which it never. And I think that if it was a Hibs team under Jack Ross that had went 1-0 up, then we would have done exactly the same as what Robbie Nielsen did. Kind of killed the game, didn't it? But that's exactly what they wanted to do, was come get a goal and kill the game because. Until the 95th minute, it worked for them, didn't it?
Well, they're all from the Craig Levein school of learning, aren't they? Jack Ross, Robbie Nielsen, score a goal and then shut up shop. Yeah, and it's just stupid.
Anti-football.
But it's like, if I understand, and I said this with Jack Ross as well, I understand if you go 1-0 up in the 85th minute to shut up shop. But if you go 1 up in the first half, why are you trying to close the game out for there? It's just you're just asking for trouble, and then when the other team do score, then you've got no answers. It just so happens we scored in the 95th minute, but had we scored in like the 70th minute, they still wouldn't have had an answer.
Yeah. So moving on from that, we've got I felt like the last 20 minutes, last 15, 20, we really kind of ramped it up. The first portion of the first half and the second portion of the second half, I feel like that's when we were on top. And a pretty even game, to be honest. I felt like both sides were evenly matched, but the second part of the second half, and it felt like there was chance after chance, and then a couple of really good chances right at the end when Boyle jinked it past the defender. I can't remember who it was, probably Toby Civic or some shite like that, and then kind of scuffed the shot.
Yeah,
I don't know if it took a deflection or that, and
yeah,
then
we got a corner.
yeah, and it went
I
out
thought
for
he
a
was going to
corner.
score that.
I thought he was
That's when
going to
I
score
thought.
as well. I turned to my old man. I went, that was written in the stars for him to score that. I'm gutted that it wasn't him. And then from that corner, I think that was the corner where Rocky had the free header and headed it over the bar. And then I thought, this isn't our day.
Yeah.
It's difficult one. It's a horrible feeling, eh? Especially, I feel like Rocky should have scored that.
It's an open goal.
Yeah, I really feel like he should have scored that. And I think he was leaning back a little bit and he kind of got under the ball. But you know, if it's the last minute of derby, you've got to put that away. I'm afraid.
Do you know what the irony is, right? And I'll probably get lambasted for saying this because you're not allowed to say anything against Rocky Bashiri now. But had that been in the opposite box and he's trying to clear it out for a corner, he's scoring an own goal in that exact same scenario.
I think it's easier to do that than it is to score at the other end, though. Such a high, it's more a high pressure when you're at the other end and trying to score and grab the game, grab a point, or grab a win. Really, that was us. But then a couple of minutes later, quick thinking for the ball boy to get the ball to Cadden for the throw in.
Yeah,
nice wee bit of play, chested down by Boyle, slipped through to Yuan, who leaves Halkett flailing and flapping, cuts it back, and then Boyle pokes it in. Did you go nuts?
It was absolute bedlam.
It was incredible, eh?
It was bedlam. It was actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
I went mental, as you should.
Absolutely. And I was there were so many people leaving next to me because I sit right on the edge of the row, right? And there were so many people leaving next to me, and they're all just standing on the stairs. And then everyone just went absolutely crazy. There was folk falling down the stairs. It was absolutely mental. And then I turned round to the pitch after celebrating with all these mad strangers, and then there was 15, 20 wee laddies on the pitch.
The under 12s around in the park to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really what you want to see, to be honest. But I think that people have made a little bit of a mountain out of a molehill. A couple of wee laddies running in the park.
I mean, I'll be honest, it does not bother me.
It doesn't really bother me either, but you know, you didn't want to make a habit of it because then.
No, but how often do you score in that kind of situation?
Yeah, but playing devil's advocate here, if we'd have scored in like the 91st or the 92nd, and you still got a few minutes left, and all these wee bairns are. I know, but all these wee bairns are running the park, and it kills your momentum if you want to go and get another. So, I get it. I get that. Obviously, it was a high octane moment for sure, but yeah, just think about it before you run on the park. But it was class, so it was class.
Nah, but you don't think though. That's the thing. It takes over.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I get that completely. It's it was a brilliant moment though, and I feel like any football fan who says that they wouldn't go absolutely crazy when they score a equaliser, a last second equaliser.
All these people, these Hearts fans on Twitter saying, "Oh, it's embarrassing celebrating a draw." It's like scored in the 95th minute of derby. What do you expect? Like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, no.
What are we meant to do? I don't understand that thinking. Like what? And if it was the other way around, like if Oztuk scored.
Yeah, exactly. They brought a beer out. They brought a beer. Have you seen the picture of the guy?
Yes,
The guy with
yes.
the 1-1 on the back of his top.
Aye, absolute loser.
Absolute embarrassment, to be honest. Like I'm embarrassed to share a city with them. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm embarrassed to share the oxygen that we breathe.
But yeah, so and then it was full time, 1-1.
Yep.
A really good point for us, I think. It keeps the momentum going into Livingston. But before we get to Livingston, what about Robbie Nielsen's comments saying that we said that we were going to do this and that? And I want to put out there, I think Robbie Nielsen is a bitter, angry greaseball of a man. I hate him.
He's I think he's just made up a narrative
Yeah.
to try and deflect for his own failings. I don't think we should be listening to him. I never even listened to him.
Yeah,
I've
well,
just been told that what he said.
I think,
I don't need to listen to him to know what he said.
yeah, I think Lee Johnson he actually spoke about it on it in his presser yesterday
Yeah,
or the
so
day before, and he said, I don't really know what he's talking about, and he was like, well, what what team aren't gonna be transparent and say that this is their goals for the season and try and be transparent to the supporters? And I feel like that's obviously been taken the wrong way by Robbie Nielsen. I mean, the way that they're acting is as if they're guaranteed third already. We're 2 games into the season. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's a bit embarrassing from him. I'd be embarrassed if it was Lee Johnson coming out and blaming blaming
Blaming the other team for wanting to score.
exactly and for not going in on his team for not playing until the last second, the last
Yeah.
whistle.
I mean,
Which
you have to also remember, like, that's what that's what he's saying outwards. I mean, I imagine he's having a very different conversation in the dressing room as well.
I would imagine so, but I mean, it's just an odd
He's just
it's
an
an
odd
odd
guy, mate.
angle.
He's an odd guy.
Aye, he really is. He's no right, no style, no bottle. Nielsen out or Nielsen in maybe if he's going to keep not winning at Easter Road.
Yeah.
What about that? I love the reaction from the Hearts fans on Twitter, going on about celebrating a draw. Too right. We celebrate a draw, and I'll celebrate a draw on Saturday if we get one there because I think Livingston is a very very tough place to go. Michael, your thoughts?
I hate going there. I hate
Aye.
plastic pitches. Just
Yeah,
as a general rule.
yeah.
I can understand these little clubs wanting them for um
For
well they
training
are.
on.
No, well that and for like cost effectiveness.
Yep.
But there should be a sanction implemented at the beginning of the season if you're going to use because it's a significant advantage over everyone else.
It is. Aye. I think that
But
if you're a professional football club, you should have a pitch to play on as grass, and that should be your first priority, is having somewhere to play.
but we are not playing on grass. We're playing on an artificial surface.
Yes, we are indeed.
I think, to be honest, the players training on an artificial surface now. There should be no real.
Yeah, I feel like that as well because we've obviously got a big Astro at HTC.
We also
So
won quite convincingly there in COVID season.
we did. Yes, we did. That was the last time we beat them there,
So
actually.
it's the same. It's the same pitch.
Yeah. Different players though.
Yeah, but it's still. But it's also different players from when we got beat from them last season, twice.
That's true. But yeah, so it is a tough place to go though, because you ken what they're like. They're one of these teams that, like you said, from the Craig Levine School of Football, can go 1-0 up and are really, really good at sitting in and being really hard to break down. It's just a David Martindale characteristic, really, for that team. You've seen it against Rangers on the opening day. Although they got beat that day, I thought they did really well to get their noses in front and then keep Rangers out, really, although they bombarded them with crosses and all the rest of it. Do you think that we're going to see a rubbish game of football that's going to be nicked by one goal?
I think the game will be bad. Do I think it'll be one goal? Depends who scores.
And think it'll be us in the last minute.
I don't know if I can.
I don't think I can take it again.
Goals.
3 weeks in a row.
I think if they score, it'll be very difficult to see them scoring again. If they score, they'll probably win 1-0.
Yeah.
But I think if we score first, then they're going to have to try and score, and that'll help us.
Yeah,
pick them off. I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's
hard, difficult with Livingston.
And there are like a bogey team as well because they come to Easter Road and beat us.
I know. It's it is a difficult place to go, but we should be beating them though. Like you look at it man for man, our squad is better than their squad, and it's as simple as that. I don't think there's a Livingston player that would get into this Hibs team.
No, but it's comprised of rejects.
It is, like Jason Holt and Omiyonga. Did you like Omiyonga?
I didn't mind him. I didn't think he was good enough though.
Nah,
I didn't mind him. I didn't mind him when we had him.
I liked how much he loved the club.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was a great player.
I love the club as well. You don't play me centre mid.
I don't know. I think you could do a job.
I mean, I do as well, but it's not going to happen though, is it?
Get the Puma Kings out. Lee Johnson, if you're listening, you've got a centre mid here and waiting. Register them before the window shuts.
Put me in the development squad with all 3,000 players we've bought.
So can I get a score prediction for you for Livingston? Actually, before that, how would you line up? Would you go same as Derby?
Yeah, just in the interests of brevity.
I think it'll be a very similar team. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tavares come back and maybe Henderson out. I don't think
he was
Henderson...
poor last week because he was out of position.
He was out of position, and I felt, and I really like Henderson. I really do. But it looked to me that he was out of position, but it looked as if he wasn't really that interested.
Because he's out of position, though.
I think that's why. He's not physical enough to be played out there against Hearts.
But I think tomorrow, if Livingston are going to be sitting off us, then that's probably a perfect game for Henderson.
I think so.
The ball.
Aye, because he likes to be on the ball and thread it through. He's not. I don't understand the feeling behind putting Henderson out wide because he's not got the pace to beat a man, and he doesn't take players on as like Boyle does on the other side, and like Tavares does. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him dropped. I don't think that he's in a bad vein of form. I just don't think he really had a great game on Sunday. But if they were to play him out wide left, I feel like it's just a bit redundant tomorrow.
Yep.
So I would have Tavares in for Hendo and then unchanged otherwise. Or also Campbell, he goes out. Well, I'm assuming that he's out.
He's injured now.
So I wouldn't mind Dylan Tate coming in. I've seen a lot of Dylan Tate shouts on Twitter.
Or Jake Doyle Hayes, he came on last week.
Oh, he changed the game as well. It was I like Kenny. I would like Kenny and Doyle Hayes together. Kenny, Doyle Hayes, Newell. I would like that. I think Kenny would let them two play. Let them get forward.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
We'll just need to wait and see what happens, I suppose. But I feel like there's good options all over the park. If we were to get an injury or a suspension anywhere on the park, then we would have a half-decent replacement to come in and we wouldn't be struggling, really. Especially in the forward areas.
Yeah, maybe centre-half. We don't know centre-half, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll get onto that in a second after your score predictions, because we're going to have a wee chat about the transfer window. But a prediction from you, Michael.
2-0 to Hibs.
2-0 to Hibs. I'm going to go
with Yuan and an own goal.
from
Nobody
who?
ever says, "Oh, I don't know."
From Obalai.
I don't
Who
know.
needs-
Nobody ever says own goal in their prediction, so I'm going to go for it
I mean, fair enough.
because it's a way of scoring, and it does happen.
I think Yuan will score. I think we'll win 1-0. Yuan will get the goal. I
Yeah.
really want him to score.
87th minute.
Oh no, I don't think I could take it. I really don't. Actually, no, I wouldn't mind an 87th minute if we were already 1-0 up. And then just to
Aye,
kind of
kill the game.
just to seal it. But no,
Yeah.
if you're listening, Lee Johnson, please tell the players to score before injury time, because 3 weeks on the trot, I don't think I can take it. It's not good for the heart.
Oh,
It really isn't. But yeah, we'll have a wee talk about the transfer window, Michael. I
so
feel like we need one more player in, and
centre
that's a
half.
centre half. But it looks as though we are after a striker, and his name escapes me, but I know that he's Serbian and he used to play for Rangers on trial, I think.
Oh, I've seen the link.
Yeah, so
I've
his name
never heard of him.
is Adam Grieger.
Never heard of him, but I'll take him if he's
Neither have I. He's 18 years old, striker.
to
He's,
the development squad.
I think so. He's from Slovakia. He's at that LASK,
Oh, LSK Linz in Austria.
LASK in Austria. Yeah, I think they played St
They
Johnstone
played
last season.
They also played Man United
Oh, did
a
they?
few seasons ago. I think so, or maybe that was somebody
So
else. Can't remember.
he's made actually quite a few first team appearances for an 18-year-old. He's
Yeah.
made 37 appearances and scored 4 goals in professional football. I'm not too sure what leagues the other teams that he's played for are in. I think
Who
they're
are the
in.
teams?
I'm going to butcher this. Zemplin Michalovce.
Sounds Ukrainian.
They are from Slovakia.
Oh, probably get hanged for saying that.
Yeah, probably. LASK and then Juniors OO. And they also play in Austria.
Yeah.
And he's a Slovakian under-19 international as well. Never scored for Slovakia youth team though. But
Yeah.
I mean, these signings for the dev squad, I get it. I do, because we've not really brought through many good talents recently. When you think back to what we have had, like Fletcher and Brown, Thompson, Whitaker, Riordan, O'Connor. Now we've got Campbell and Dabrowski. But I think we need one more centre back in, mate.
I do, as do I. I don't know who though. I don't know who we would get, but I do think we need one.
I quite like Fitzwater from Livingston. I wouldn't mind him. But
He's just a big brute though, isn't he?
I think he's quite good on the ball, Fitzwater.
Well, we'll see tomorrow if he's
We
playing.
will, exactly. We'll talk about it next week. And you'll go, Kim Watley, man, you were right about that Fitzwater boy. We should be after him.
Or maybe when he breaks somebody's leg, you'll go, "Aye, Michael, you were spot on."
I'll go, what a thug.
What a thug. Shouldn't be anywhere near a football park.
But yeah, I would, like you say, it's difficult to kind of pinpoint signings, eh? But I would imagine that Hibs have got something up their sleeves for the rest of the window. Well, I would hope so anyway. But if we were to go into the rest of the season after the window shuts with the squad that we have without adding anyone else, would you be happy with it? Because I would.
Yeah, probably. And we're also quite fortunate that if it does go wrong, we've got like a month without a game because of the World Cup. So it's not like we've got a full 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, till the next window of games.
Exactly.
It's just like 3 or 2. I don't know how many months it is.
I don't think we'll end the transfer window without signing a centre half. I think one will come in. And I think that's
but we sent Big Alan to Edinburgh
I think he's more of a
I'm going to say
midfielder now, though.
Edinburgh City, but we have to say FC Edinburgh for
FC Edinburgh.
the interests of um, transparency.
And Emmanuel Johnson's out there as well. We've got quite a few half decent prospects
We're just
coming
not
through.
keeping them at the club.
Oh, if you keep Alan Delphier at the club, realistically, how many minutes is he going to get throughout the season? I would have liked to have kept him and have him there, but he never went out on loan last season, so
True.
he's probably wanted to go and get some minutes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
He's probably had that conversation with Lee Johnson, and Lee Johnson's obviously said, "Listen, well, especially when McGuinness comes back, and then when Campbell's back fit again. I mean, he's not really going to be. It's going to be quite far down the pecking order, I would imagine.
When McGuinness comes back.
If McGuinness comes back, I think it'll be good to get him back for a couple of games, and then he'll be injured again, like Dimitri Mitchell.
Yep, I forgot about him.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they both come back and kick on for us, but with the injury record that they've got, it's never looking very promising, for that pair.
No.
Well, so just before we wrap up, we will go and do some listener questions, Michael, if you wouldn't mind answering some of them for me.
Okay.
Aidan Black, with Hibs looking to sign another youngster in this Grieger boy for a reported 200 grand, do you think spending money in the development squad is a good thing? Seen a lot of people complaining about it, but I have no issues with it so long as the first team is winning games.
Good question.
It's a great question, isn't it?
Yep. I don't actually have an issue with it either, to be honest. I think that if we're planning on investing for the future, then there's nothing wrong with bringing players in. And they'd be worse to pay that kind of money for a player just to sit on the bench or to send them out to a club on loan. But we're keeping them in-house. We're training up ourselves. And when they're ready, hopefully, they'll be able to play in the first team. So I don't think I think it's quite a refreshing approach to.
I think so as well. I think so as well.
That's what I would say.
It's nice to see that side of the team is getting a little bit of love rather than just kind of hoping.
And it also helps. Well. It also helps as well that, say, 2 or 3 of them maybe make it out the development squad into the first team. They know each other
exactly.
As well. And then I hate this phrase, but they know the club. And they know the city. So
cliche.
But it's less time for them to try and bed into a whole new environment if they've already been here for
exactly. Haley's asked a couple of questions. She asks, "What number are Hearts unveiling John Beaton as this week? His performance was shocking. Is there anything that can be done to alleviate the inconsistencies of refs?" I don't think I don't think he was being biased or anything. I think he is just a shite referee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to paraphrase Paul Jewell, but I'll do it because I like to do it whenever I get the opportunity. Talk about refs. The only consistent thing is the inconsistency. I don't think it's bias or any partisanship. I just think that they're not very good at what they do.
No.
And I think that if you ask any fan of any club in the league, they'll
give you the same answer.
Version of that answer.
Yeah. But what number is he going to be unveiled as at Hearts? What squad number is he getting?
Probably 5-1, 51.
Yeah, probably or 69. The big cut. And then she also asks, we touched on it earlier, what team do you put out for Saturday? Do we rest Boyle for Rangers next week or give him a small cameo like before to get minutes in? I think just use him if need be.
Yeah. Props.
Because the last thing that we want is to
get him injured in that hellhole of a stadium against that gang before we play Rangers. Yeah.
Who's another gang?
Yeah.
And then finally, Joe asks, Robbie Nielsen brushes his hair with blank.
Sticky apple thing.
A toffee apple.
Sticky toffee apple.
Well, Joe, I'll say that Robbie Nielsen brushes his hair with a helium balloon. That's what it looks like to me.
sticky toffee apple.
We'll need to try one of them if they do them at Livingston.
Have a review on them.
You're getting a pie tomorrow, aren't you?
I believe so. In the interest of content.
On
Yeah.
the content, man. On the content. But anyway, Michael, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. It's been a
Thank
short one
you.
today, but it's been nice, hasn't it?
It's been about a half of football.
Yeah. Well, it's been quite good. I've enjoyed it.
Good.
And
As I say.
we'll have Craig here next week as well. So we
Craig's
better get.
gonna have to work hard to get back in the team.
He's going to grovel, like.
We have to
He's
work
going to need
hard
to
to get back in
grovel.
the team.
Too right. Right, anyway,
Okay.
thanks everyone for listening, and we will catch you next week after hopefully we've beaten Livingston. See you later.
Bye bye.